Whispers float in empty halls. Footsteps echo down the walls. Shadows break where secrets lie. Every echo holds a hidden sign. Blow the trace along the crime, a hush that haunts the night, a fear that lives in light. Unravel lines of twisted lies. In the dark, the story waits unseen.
And here we go.
Hi guys, so I want to do a really quick update for you. First of all the ways to support are down below. I appreciate everything that everybody has done, liking, subscribing, and hyping the videos. I appreciate that. I am trying to get back to best. Just need a little push getting there. So I want to kind of go in really quick before I get around. It's my mom's birthday today. But I've got to update you guys. I wanted to do a live, but I haven't had a chance. As you can see, I'm still not completely awake. All right, so I did a couple of EVPs before I ever went out to Tucson, and honestly, I'm not going to be able to do that on my own unless I'm already out there for something else, because that actually I probably shouldn't have done that. I spent bill money to go, so I just really needed to see this area because of what Google was saying, but Google was, I don't know if they were back in the 70s or what. It wasn't as it was described. I'm looking for something very specific, and I kept getting like, it's remote. So when she was moved, so originally I feel like she was close, as I've said, because all the cards pointed that way, the EVPs pointed that way, and then I have done 2 EVPs. If you guys have not listened to them, I did miss a few things and I'm hearing now, and so you can check the pinned comments, because if I hear something I'll put it in there. But I had to drive out because of what I was told on Google, and when I look, maps can be very deceiving. So actually that day it wasn't monsooning here, but as soon as I got to Benson, it started monsooning, and I was driving rivers and it was pouring on me. Well, I was like, well, I'm either going to go home, I'm going to drive to Tucson, I'm going to outrun it. So I did. I started driving to Tucson, I outran the pouring rain, and I was like, okay. So I started to go up the mountain, and it wasn't as, like I said, as they described. Maybe it was like that back in the past. AI can get it wrong, Google can get it wrong, whatever. I'm kind of just putting in my image to see if I can find it, because it's like a needle in a haystack. I'm trying to find what I'm seeing. And I wish I would have done the EVP prior, because then I might have known more. Well, I did do it prior, but I didn't listen to it yet, so I might have known more things. But anyways, so I'm going up this mountain, and so it's not as I see it, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and go up to the prison camp just to see. So I got to the prison camp, and there was a deer right when I was entering the prison camp. Now, when I got there, I felt very heavy. My head started hurting. I didn't feel good, and I didn't know if it was the elevation or spiritual feelings, because I couldn't tell the difference, because sometimes they can feel the same. Either you feel heavy, your head hurts, whatever. So I couldn't tell if I was feeling the energy of the area, like it was that heavy, or it was the atmosphere, because I was a higher elevation, because it was pretty high elevation. So I got out and it started thundering, and I was like, okay, I need to get my butt back on the road and go back down. There's not, like, I can't really look around here. I'm afraid of like snakes, coyotes, mountain lions, it's one of those types of areas. So I get back in the car, I start driving down the hill, and it starts pouring on me again. I'm like, what the heck? Almost like the skies just opened up and just started dumping rain. So I had to pull over. And I had been talking to Tracy, because she tries to talk to me during these excursions that I go on, and I didn't have service. So I pulled over the first spot I could go on, because they were dumping water on me and people were shooting. And I was like, okay, this is kind of crappy, because I'm a woman here sitting alone, and there's like all these men just out shooting weapons. So I waited for a little bit for it to stop, and I left, and I went down, continued on down. So as I was up there, I tried to continue to try to find what I was looking for, and I wasn't able to. I went to another place that I keep being drawn to, but it didn't really look like I was looking for, because I'm looking for something very specific. I'm looking for the way a road is. It has to, usually I see things as they are, so it has to look exactly in my visions as almost exactly. Now it can be from different angles, but everything that I'm seeing in my vision kind of has to be there, and it has to be a certain way. That's the way that I work. It's not really symbolic when I'm seeing it like that. It's more like a vision or remote view. It's usually as it is. And so I'm telling Tracy, I'm like, this is like a needle in a haystack. But I felt like my whole trip up there was wasted, I guess. But I guess if I wouldn't have went and looked, then maybe I would have always wondered, like, okay, well, is it, or whatever. And it kind of would have maybe drove me crazy. So I had a few rough days, and the energy sort of shifted because astrology has shifted. We had the full moon in Capricorn, and now Jupiter has moved into Leo in my 7th house. So we had kind of an energy shift where I had some good luck things happen, a little bit of movement happen, which was really good. And so last night we were looking on the map again. I had already listened to the EVP. I had done the EVP, and my aunt called and I got interrupted, so hopefully I can remember what I was talking about. But anyways, I kind of felt like it was a waste of trip in a way, because every time I go, I'm like, okay, this looks different, and it's not really what I'm looking for. So then I ended up being stressed out. So I was looking on a map because I keep being pulled. There's directions I keep being pulled. I know people are saying east, south. I'm not being pulled that way. When we go back to the cards, we've always gotten opposite direction. We've always gotten, recently, we've gotten remote. And the area I'm seeing looks remote. The way that the dirt is, the way that everything is, and there are specific towers that I'm looking for. They're not the little towers. They're the big towers. And there's something that came in the EVP that we were able to find that was a number. Now, I will tell you guys what I'm talking about after I go look at it. So the plan is tomorrow, hopefully, I'm supposed to take Neptune to get his beak trimmed in Tucson. The plan is to drive out there. It's not close. So I don't know exactly how far it is from Tucson. It is in the direction. The cards continue to say the same direction over and over. And it's the place I get pulled in the same direction over and over, and in this direction there is a number correlating with the EVP that correlates with the route number. So, and it has the kind of, it's remote. It has the kind of sand I'm looking for. It has the towers I'm looking for. It looks way more promising than what I originally was thinking it was, because I was going by maybe she's close, but if they moved her, which was stated in the second EVP that I put out, that was very specific when I asked if she was moved, and they said yes. I think maybe they moved her further away. And so this area would make sense. It would be opposite direction. It would look the way that I'm looking. It would be in the direction I always go, just further. And there's a specific route number. And I don't know if you guys know, but there is literally a place called Noah, but it's kind of far. So I thought that was interesting because that keeps coming in the EVP. And that could just be like a direction, like saying, okay, it's on this direction or whatever, not saying she's necessarily by that. But so that's the plan. If I have the gas and stuff to go that direction, I will already be in Tucson. So again, if you would like to support that, because things are tough right now, it does take gas and wear and tear. I can't really do it on my own without community help. That's just the way that it is right now. Probably, hopefully won't always be that way, but that is why we wanted to make the nonprofit, so that, you know, we can try to look for people and make it like a community effort. Now, for those of you that don't know, that are new to the channel, I have been looking for Nancy since the beginning. I've gone different places to fill different things. I have followed different certain perpetrators that I felt like, you know, I got feelings off of or whatever. So Tracy can tell you, I have been out searching since the beginning. I have not really stopped. I had taken a break because the energy needed to, I wasn't getting anything else. I couldn't see anything that, and in the cards it had literally said divine delay and things were stuck. I did actually talk to a witch on TikTok, and they told me there was candle magic being used. It did come in the EVP, so I'm interested if the people involved didn't do something of that sort, because I think that after I talked to the witch about that, that's when I got the vision I got. And I kept telling Tracy, it's like got to be remote off the beaten path, where the cards that I picked up in the EVP, it said dry, and we were all looking for a wash in the beginning of this case. I don't know if you guys remember, I was looking for wash and drainage. And I think like a lot of like the psychics are picking up water. Doesn't necessarily mean like she's in water. Like water can be symbolic, because there's aquifer that runs underneath a lot of these washes. And when you're doing this kind of work, sometimes it's symbolic. So and when I pulled the last cards, it was symbolic water, which was what I was wanting to know. And then the EVP said dry wash and then mud. Well, this area does get mud when we have the monsoons. And it's like a basin where I'm looking at. And so I don't know till I go and I see it with my eyes to see if it looks like my vision. On the map, it's kind of interesting because the road kind of goes. The only thing that's a little opposite is maybe the direction of which way the towers are going. Like I might have been a little backwards on that, but they are the towers that I'm looking for. And it is a significant number. So, in order to like do all the searching and stuff, like it does take some kind of support. I will try to do it regardless. With knowing me, I will pinch pennies and do what I gotta do as long as I can get up there and back safely. That's usually how it is. But tomorrow is a good time because I will already be up there, and because it's a little bit further than we originally thought, which makes sense if they moved her further down. Nobody is looking in this area. This is completely opposite of where they're looking. And that's why I think all the focus is on Mexico, but it's a misdirection. Because literally in the EVP, it said in state. So that's telling us Arizona. That's not telling us Mexico. And so like in the EVP, it said dry wash, and then it said mud. And yes, because they were having a conversation within themselves. The spirit was like, one spirit said mud, the other one said yes, like to like agree. So, and that might not be all the time. That might be like around, the time that it rains or whatever, or now, because they were talking about now, or around the 24th. Because that's when I did the EVPs. I wish I would have been able to listen to them before I went, because there was, again, something that was mentioned twice that is a number that correlates with the area I'm looking at. Now, once I go out and I look, I will tell you what I'm talking about. But as I've told you guys, I don't want anybody to know where I'm at. I want anybody to know where I'm looking. I don't need, like, you know what I mean? It's just a safety thing. And it's what I've learned from taking classes and doing this kind of work. Like, you don't really want to say where you're at, where you're looking, unless like you go there, it makes sense, then you put it out, you call it in, all of that. But I can tell you that this is more of what I'm looking for in terms of my vision, my drawing, things that are correlating with numbers in the area that we've got in the EVP, things that are, you continue to go. There's words that have come up. And I kept telling Tracy, like, the more that I pan out, the more remote it seems, the more sandy it seems, because we got sand. And it makes sense because this would be like a dry, like basin wash. I don't know how the people would connect to this, but we don't know, because we don't know everybody that's involved. Also, something else that was interesting is that Kai, sorry, I've got to get around here, and that's probably, he's barking at nothing, but he usually does. Is that I just saw today that like a week ago there was a van mentioned. It was caught on video or something. And what's weird is like 2 weeks ago, I didn't get it out until I think like last week. I don't know, but because I got the video out a little bit later than when I started hearing it. I was having a hard time getting on here and doing the video, but I kept hearing the sound of like a van. You know how it sounds whenever a van closes its doors. I was talking about a white van. And how it sounds when it opens and closes its doors. Well, there was a van that was around that they were talking about. So I found that interesting. I don't know if that's coming in because it was going to be brought up. So it's a validation of something being brought up, no different than the name Richard and being brought up. And So it could just be a validation for that. It could mean something. I don't know, but I found it interesting that I've gotten that, and it's kind of come out, and I just found out about it. So I don't know the connection at all. But for once, I'm able to more see of where she is, because like I have said, I think she was originally being somewhere else. Like I said, I was feeling like I was in the darkness in a box being held somewhere. Maybe they got too close. Maybe the fact that Derek's getting ready to go. His name is Derek, not David. David keeps coming up, and I don't know why. So I keep saying that. And Owen keeps being repeated in the EVP. So I don't know. Mike is another name that always comes up. But anyways, he's going to court, and I told Tracy a couple weeks ago that he was going to plead. So if she was originally somewhere else, and he was getting that, the timing's interesting of everything. And yes, they say that the ransom notes are fake. So the courier in my reading could have been just somebody, because it was at the very beginning. Now, that could just be, somebody that's writing the letters, or it could be a misdirection in some way that somebody's being paid to do. But regardless, Derek has connections to people that we know, and the texts were kind of interesting. They were more personal than somebody that's a stranger. They ran in the same circles, allegedly. And so I find it interesting of the timing of everything and him going to court and pleading. It's like, what does he know that they're worried about that he's going to offer a deal for? So I find that kind of odd and interesting at the same time, which again, we're into July, and I said some stuff in July was going to happen, and we'll see what else that's going to be. But yeah, so as long as I'm getting more information, I'm feeling pulled to this. I feel like the strings are being pulled. I feel like more information is slowly unraveling. And interestingly enough, like Tracy found a video yesterday of another psychic that got the exact same vision that I did. And I can't remember if she got it like around the same time. I don't know if my video was out or not yet. I think she said it was. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like some of the same exact information that like I've never seen that ever happen before, where it's been exactly the same vision, exactly the same information. So I found that kind of interesting, including the location that I'm looking for. So, again, I've kind of always, I was looking for, it was weird. I don't know if we were getting like where she was going to end up and where she was at before, because again, I don't know if she was put somewhere else and then moved recently, because everything seemed to sort of open up, unless it was more like an energetic symbolism. But whenever I asked the spirits in the EVP if she was moved, they literally answered yes. So the second EVP that they answered specific questions twice. They answered me, and that is a rare thing, but I noticed they do it a lot with me. They're very specific, and they will answer me if I ask. And originally they had said she was close. And then I asked it, because I said in one of my earlier EVPs, is Nancy at by her property or close? And they said close right after that. And so I was focusing in that area, and I always felt snapped back to the community. But lately I don't feel drawn back to the community anymore. And interestingly enough, in the cards, I had sort of come across that, it was like an abandoned property kind of was mentioned. And so I'm just wondering if she was placed there for a period of time, and then recently they had to move her for various reasons. And then after that, like the ransom note came up, which we know is fake, but still maybe some are fake. But I don't know. There's something weird about that. Like I still think it's connected, even though I still think in some way it's connected. I don't think it's not completely connected. But also, interestingly enough, is I'm wondering, because of the way that the cards were pulling out was like educator and then someone young that's like being kind of, the young person is being mentored by the educator. And so I found that was kind of interesting, because we've kind of thought there was a younger person involved, because the EVP has mentioned 20s a few times, and there felt like someone kind of younger, maybe in his 20s or college or something like that could be around this. And I don't know if they were physically involved or just connected in the technology sphere kind of thing, because it's interesting. EVP had said 4. We had originally said 3, and I don't know if that's also somebody behind the scenes. But it's come across that this was planned, but maybe the timeline moved up. That's the way that everything has kind of come in. So I'm actually kind of really excited about this area because it does look almost exactly like my map, other than the telephone lines are switched. And I told Tracy, I said, look, so I'm looking for these specific telephone lines. They have to have the wide bottoms. They can't be like just the ones that stick up. And there's a reason for that. I think Spirit was trying to tell me, look, it has to be these ones, because those ones could be anywhere, but there's only certain places that the wide bottoms electrical lines are, and that's also very Aquarius. So I find it kind of interesting, and it's in the direction I always get pulled. I just haven't gone very far because I wasn't sure that she was that far. And to be honest, when I was pulling cards, I did pull close and then I did pull far, and I kind of didn't take the far because I was like, sometimes I do that because I'm stupid. I know better, and I don't know why I do that. So I'm saying it now. It could be that she was close originally, close last known location, and then they moved her far. Further. I mean, she's not like hours away. Like, this is maybe, I don't know till I drive. I don't know if it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour out of Tucson. And it's the direction that I always get pulled, because I always get pulled to certain side of the map and not anywhere else. And it's been narrowing as we've been going along. South feels wrong to me. East feels wrong to me. North was kind of feeling okay, but it's not anymore. So I feel like it feels more west. Which is the direction that we've kind of gone, but I just didn't go far enough before on the map because I never wanted to get pulled very far from Nancy. And I started to wonder that maybe she was there and then they were going to move her, but she was still there, and her energy imprint was still there. She was still there, whatever, because Spirit said they moved her. So it makes me wonder if I was kind of torn between where she was and where she was going to end up. And I didn't want to get too far from her. But now I don't feel like I won't know until I drive it. That's why I'm saying, like, it's different on a map and different in feeling. And the feeling part is very new to me, because feeling energy and being in an area is new. It's not a strong point for me. It's mostly descriptive as how I see things. And so this is kind of, I don't know. I'm just going to have to, like, drive and see how I feel, see if it looks how I'm seeing. And I didn't mean to like cry wolf before, because I was excited because everything that I was looking up on Google said that this area made sense. The first one that I went to on last week, and it ended up just not being, I don't know, like, again, Google was like back in the 70s or something, because I think it looked different back then. Just everything they were describing seemed right, but I don't always look at maps as like, okay, that's how it exactly looks, because it always looks different. So yeah, that's basically the update. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. All of a sudden, I can't breathe for some reason. I always feel like that when I talk about her. It's weird. And I couldn't breathe in this location yesterday either, which could be for many, many reasons. But I just want to see, because it's literally a number that has come in twice. And if you keep going way far that way, there is there's things that have been mentioned, and it does look like I was seeing like remote. Because if we look at the cards, we have gotten remote and off the beaten path and drainage every single time. As far as when we're getting the other location, it's always given me remote, off the beaten path is where people aren't looking. It's off the beaten path. It's where no one's gonna like really go and look and run across her, like someplace you're not gonna expect. And we always get drainage every single time. Drainage. It's always come in. So that's why originally I was looking in a wash. But again, I think she was, I don't know. Even Spirit said they moved her, so I think she was on a property before that, because we sure did get a lot of private property cards and stuff. So yeah, I think that is the update I wanted to do really quick before I get around. And again, even, small donations towards gas, that's it. Because I honestly can't do it without community help. I wish I could right now, because I want to be able to handle things on my own. But that, again, was the whole reason that Tracy and I were trying to get, start our nonprofit, and hopefully one day we will. I'm still hopeful about that. I'm still hoping that is a direction for us, so we can get get justice trained, and we can really, like, if I need to take a dog, a real cadaver dog, like, we can help families. Like, that's the goal. The goal is not just to get on here and talk about it. The goal is to put things into action. And, I'm not just one of these YouTubers or whatever that goes out there and sits around and just talks about the case. I actually want to look for her and find her and feel things. And that's, so whenever you support the channel or you support me, that's what you're supporting. You're supporting boots on the ground, tires on the ground, whatever, because sometimes I can't get out and look by myself because, let's be honest, snakes, coyotes, weird people, I'm a woman alone, you feel me? So, and when I go up there if I go up there on Friday, it's going to be a driving mission, because of where it's at. I just need to drive it. If it looks like I see it, if I feel anything, I will tell you guys where it's at. I'll turn on the camera, I'll report it, whatever. But I'm not one of those people that likes to record where I'm at, to go live all the time where I'm at. Sometimes I show you guys I'm like driving there live, or I'm driving around live to let you know, hey, this is what I'm doing. But I don't like people to know where I'm at. I don't like people to know what I'm doing. There's safety reasons involved in that, and I don't need to put out false flags. I don't need to put out like, oh, I'm going to this place, oh, I'm going to that place, and everybody's looking and it's wrong. Like, I need to see it first, if that makes sense. So anyways, I was just re-listening to the EVPs because I think they're important to go back into them and re-listen to them. And again, there's guidelines to this channel. Please just don't argue with the visions I have, because I get them from spirit. And I'm the one sitting with spirit. I'm the one doing the work. I'm the one that, I was given the visions in the very beginning of this case without knowing anything about it, without knowing who anybody was. Tracy literally went and found T before anybody knew who he was. We knew about him on the night this happened, the morning of the next day this happening, where any information came out. I had gotten it on live, and I asked her to go look, and she pulled up the background and she found him. So we knew about him before anybody else did. So it's not like we're just jumping on the bandwagon and pointing fingers allegedly as to where, this person's involved. This person was who I saw as far as relation to. She found him, and turns out there's certain things, and turns out the EVP has mentioned him 20 times. Does that mean they're the only ones involved? Probably not. But interestingly enough, there's no point to argue with the EVPs. I don't tell spirit what to say. I don't pick the cards. I don't pick the visions. If you have your own opinions, that's great. But there is guidelines on the channel. Just don't argue with the reading. Don't argue with the visions. Been doing this for almost 14 years. I'm not a rookie at it. Does that mean I'm always right? No. Does that mean I'm always perfect? No. I can only give you what spirit gives me. I can only give you what I'm allowed to have in the moment because of universal law, karmic law, the way things are supposed to work out. But I can tell you that this work is not always, oh, yep, she's right there. It takes time. For one, the time has to be right. For two, you have to put everything together. It's more like putting puzzle pieces together from visions, from cards, from feelings, from, even the EVPs at this point. I never used them really on a case till Nancy's because I needed the extra help, and I actually really like them. They're actually very helpful. At least my spirits are very helpful. They're very upfront, and they answer my questions a lot of the time. They told me yes in a couple of these questions, and they've given me very specific info, and they've repeated info that I feel is something we need to hang on to, that I feel like is something that we need to take seriously, or that's important. When things repeat from the EVPs, it's important. So if you've been paying attention, you would know what that is as far as a number that's repeated twice now. And so I no longer feel like she's close to her house. At some point, they have moved her. And again, I don't know if people got too close. If it was because all of the sheriffs were around the community at that time, it would be just because Derek was going to court. There's some kind of something that shifted and changed. And so I know we're saying the ransom notes are fake, but I don't know if they're completely fake in a way. Because we did get the courier cards, but they're still part of the story. So, it's not as easy as just And like I said, I've been working on this for weeks, but sometimes you have to let a case breathe and come back to it. That's just the way that it is. The more that you pull strings and nothing happens, you're going to hit roadblocks. It's not time. You're not going to be shown. There's a respect that you have to have for spirit and timing of the cases. And so being pulled back to this for a reason, even spirit said you are, and getting more visual details on what I'm looking for, which is great because I was really annoyed for a minute. So whether that has something to do with the timeline opening up or the witch helping me out, I'm not really sure, but I'm just, yeah. So again, always the support are down below. I appreciate you guys so much. Check out my shops if you would like to. I'm eventually going to have my own website, working on that. So everything will be in one spot. And, yeah, because I have this Libra side of me that's just creative. I know you guys are used to seeing, like, readings for me and things like that, but I also have this creative side, and I've got to get something passive to help me because my nervous system can't handle doing readings on survival. I've been using it for survival mode, and it's making it it's too stressful and too hard. So I've got to get something on the side, whether that's something people find randomly or whatever. I put stuff in the marketplaces, but I just want to make things that people love, that are beautiful. That's my Libra, eccentric. That's my Libra Aquarius side. Always wanted to do like a brand and stuff like that. So that's just, although you're used to me doing that, I also love to do this. And I need that because I'm constantly in the true crime. So I need something different. I need something extra. All love and support is appreciated. It's still needed. I am doing the best that I can. I am still trying to work. And because you guys helped with that and helped with the situation and became together as a community, which community help, like I said, as much as a coffee is always appreciated. Now I can work and stuff because, in order to help with cases, in order to help people, like I couldn't do it without an air conditioning, and I could not provide that for myself as much as I really wanted to. I don't need to go into it, but it's been a rough year. So hopefully that all changes now with the new astrology. I am fingers crossed for us Aquariuses. That's all I gotta say because we've had a rough time. So yeah, that's basically the update on Nancy. I will keep you updated tomorrow. I don't know if I will go live when I'm heading out there after the appointment or not. First I have to come up with what I need to for the appointment, and I already put it off a week, so I absolutely have to figure this out. I do know that it's a holiday weekend. So you guys will probably see me live at some point on TikTok or YouTube or something like that. But yeah, the bookings are still opened as well. The pay hips, I put out all of those digitals for people that have lost pets. There's a digital thing for that. There's a soul reset. So those are some cool things that I put out that people asked for, that help one another. So, and one thank you is not enough. If anybody knew like the trauma that I went through in the past year with different things and how I fought every day to stay here, like you guys, nobody knows the battle that someone's facing. And I'm not just talking about for myself. I'm talking about for everybody out there. Like, be kind to one another. You don't know if what you say to someone, like, you don't know the effect you're going to have on their mental health, on their life, whatever. And if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I'm pretty sure that's what our parents taught us growing up. And I am very straightforward. I am an Aquarius. I do not put up with bullshit on my channel. Like, I respect spirit, and if spirit has something to say, I respect my visions. I don't argue with the EVPs. I don't argue with my readings. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong. I'm still following what I'm getting. And so, that's all I asked, is for spirit to be respected, for me to be respected, and for just trying to survive and do my work. That's it. People want to donate, like I said, as much of a cup of coffee, then that's helpful. Like, if you can't, then don't. Just share, like, comment. That's it. For my survival, for my mental health, for me to just get back on track so I can continue helping people. That's my path. People to respect me, respect the channel, and be kind. That's it. And I am straightforward. I'm blunt. You guys should know that from being here. And the biggest thing that I do is I respect spirit, and I respect the community and the help, because without spirit, I can't give you these videos. Without spirit, like, I can't do this work. So I respect what they say. I'm not gonna, and without you guys watching, liking and being part of the channel, I'm not here. I can't be here either. So I just want you guys to know that I do appreciate you as a community, and I've rambled long enough, and I'm sorry, but there were some things I need to get off my chest. I wanted to update you, and I'm also being real. So this is me, take it or leave it. That's just how it is. So I thank you. I appreciate you. Everybody, please have a safe 4th of July if you go out anywhere. And I will hopefully see you guys soon.